ETL. Okay, so this is what our testing pyramid I said. And so out of this particular thing, so we have been covered multiple categories of testing. So which is we have been discussed about functional testing, and then regression testing, and then array testing, and then smoke testing. So we discussed as part of functional testing these categories of testing we have been discussed, and part of NFR we have been discussed. So functional versus non-functional testing. So now under this non-functional testing, so we started to test. We talked about the look and feel. What do you mean by look and feel of the applications? And then we have been tested about compatibility testing, and then we talked about performance testing, and then we talked about security testing. Okay, so now if you see here, these are the different layers we talked about, right? So we talked about the security and then performance. So why we required security testing, or why we required the performance testing, that particular objective we have been discussed. So hope you remember this particular table. We are still discussing on the same table, the layer, the objective, and the role, and different type of testings. Okay, so now under this one, so we have been first discussed about units, the unit to test the smallest parts of the code, or the units which it is done by the dev team. And what is the different type of testing we do? Unit testing we will be trying to do on this one. And then we came for API or the backend. In the backend, so our objective is to test the complete functionality. So that particular functional testing. So QA will be trying to do it, and here we will be doing with the functional regression and version of this particular backend. So that is what the compatibility, version compatibility testing. And for this particular APIs, even we can check the performance of that particular APIs and the security of this particular APIs. So this is what the different categories of testing which we will be trying to perform on this one. And then for the UI, the same thing, the objective would be, we'll be trying to get the functional, and even here also we can say that non-functional, and here also functional and then non-functional of the objectives. And here we mean, so who will be taking care of the role? So the QA will be taking care of the role, and here we'll be performing the functional testing, and the compatibility testing, or performance testing, or security testing. So different categories of testings will be performing it. Now when it comes to the here performance, here we are trying to do the performance of the application. So now here this is part of NFR, we will be trying to do it. And who will be trying to do this particular category of testing? Developer or tester will do the performance testing?
QA.
QA will be contributing to this one. And as part of this one, so till here yesterday we have been detailedly discussed. Now from here we wanted to discuss from here. As part of performance, what are the different category of things we will be testing on this? So just we have been given the objective of the performance testing yesterday. Now, if you see here, why we will be doing the performance testing, I told you, right? So I given some statistical data. So majorly triple S would be the agenda for the performance: speed, scalability, stability. So these are the three factors which we will keep as part of the thing, and then we will be trying to test the application. Okay, so what are the different type of testings would be part of the performance testing? So that we didn't discussed. And then we discussed, see, these are the factors, and what is the importance of the performance testing. So that is what we have been discussed. Hey, without performance of the application, the quality of application would be low, and the usage of the users would be low, and so there would be huge losses because of this one. These all things we have been discussed. Now, how, or what are the things, what are the different type of testings we will be having in the performance testing? So this blank we didn't discuss yesterday. So this is what we are going to talk about today, and then we proceeded further with the security testing. So this would be our agenda. Okay, so are we clear with what we wanted to do? So so now till here we have been discussed yesterday. Now for filling up this particular cell, now we are going to start with the performance testing. Don't worry, I'll talk about the ETL and then security later, but as part of this flow, so we are continuing with the performance testing. So now as part of performance testing, the basic objective for the performance testing is to know the non-functional testing, or non-functional requirements, and then we'll be proceeding further with it. Now, as part of performance, there are different categories of testing around this performance testing. Means if you wanted to gauge the performance of any particular application, so you will be having a different categories, different type of testings you'll be having. Hey, what are the different type of testings, Chris? The first one, very known, well known, is load test. Next one, stress test. Next one, spike test. Next one, endurance or longevity test. Next one, durability. Next one, volume. And there are subcategories are there. They can say that heavy load, constant load. These are for part of load testing. These all things we will not go into the details, because as of now, the basics of the things we wanted to know. We are not getting into the details of this. If someone says that, hey boss, I wanted to do the performance testing for an application. So now these are the categories which we will be trying to monitor for this one. Okay. Now, today we will be covering as much as possible the performance testing so that you can understand what are the basic of the performance. And this session is purely for the basics, because performance testing is an ocean. As part of that one, so we are taking one just piece of thing and then we are discussing, hey, at least you should know someone, if someone is speaking what do you mean by performance testing or all the things, you'll be trying to understand all this. Okay. Now let's get back and start with the performance testing. Now when it is performance testing, just give me 1 second, please. Okay, so now first one is a load testing. What is load testing? Now, for example, everything you need to remember that the whatever you do, there would be some objective for each category of testing. Now, for this particular testing, we will call PT, performance testing. We are trying to do with the load. What is the objective of this one? Everything should have an objective. If you're doing something, there should be some objective. So now if you're attending for this course, the objective of this course is to you complete this one and then get on with the job. So this is what your objective. The same way, when you wanted to perform the load testing, what is the objective of the performance with this particular load testing, and what would be the outcomes you'll be getting from this one? This is what you're going to understand. The first one is the objective. Okay, the what would be the objective is, example, now take some like good example. I think now the sale is going on, right? Amazon sale and these things are happening. Now Amazon application is there. Okay, for this particular Amazon application, I can give 1,000 users. Okay, and see how the application is working. First I will give one user and I'll check how the user is performing. So here, on what layers the performance testing would be performed? See now, now I told you, right? Here it is also NFR I have written, and here also I have been written, and here also I said performance, and here also I said performance. How? Means performance testing can be performed on the two layers. One is on UI layer, and one is on API layer. Means on the back end performance I'll be testing it, and from the front end performance also I'll be testing it. Excellent, right? Performance testing can be performed on the UI layer and the API layer, and performance testing is also can be performed on the third one, which is on infrastructure. What do you mean by infrastructure, boss? Infrastructure is nothing but your laptop, right? For an example, the server is there. Server, what do you mean by server? Which it servers the clients, or your laptop is a server. If it's a high having a high configuration of laptop, then that will be called as a server, right? Now your performance of your laptop, or the performance of your infrastructure, performance of the UI layer, performance of the API layer. So when we talk about a performance testing, we will be considering, oh shit, 1 second guys, 1 second please. Sorry, I forgot something because I need to submit that one by today morning. I forgot, so just write my to-do list. Okay, so now coming back here, when you do the performance testing, when you do your performance testing, you would be having, you need to perform on the three things. One is on your API layer, one is on your UI layer, and one is on your infrastructure. So performance testing can be performed on these three things. Now let me see that from the UI layer and the backend layer, how it would be done. Now in the backend layer, I have one end API. Okay, so we discussed, right? API is nothing but we request, we get the response. Now on this particular endpoint or the backend, I give one user and I'll see within how much time it will be returning back. So probably below 800 milliseconds, you'll be getting it. How many milliseconds make 1 second?
800.
1000
1000
milliseconds, sir.
milliseconds will make 1 second. Okay, 1000 milliseconds will make 1 second. Now, this is the industry standard. If any request we have been given for a single user, it should come below 800 milliseconds. This is the industry standard for any request. Okay, I didn't understand what you're talking, boss. It is very simple, boss. I went to a hotel and then I ordered for idli. So within 2 minutes, he given to me. So that is what I'm saying. That's a standard. Any hotel, if I ordered within 2 minutes, I'm able to get it. That's a standard. If it is going beyond 2 minutes, then that is not a stand. Means that's a the performance of that one need to be tuned. Means the server need to go to kitchen, he need to give the order, and the chef need to prepare that idli and give it back to me. Request response. That's it. There is not too much complicated here, right? Now what I do for the same restaurant, one user come and it served within 2 minutes. 20 users at one shot they came. Four suppliers. Each supplier will have five users, so five customers, and taken the order. And he came to chef, and he ordered this. There is only one chef. If he does for this particular 20 people, can he serve within 2 minutes?
No.
If we have, okay, 3 to 4 chefs are there, then approximately means if with the one chef, if they are serving it with 5 minutes or 7 minutes, now within 3 to 4 chef they can give at least 3 to 4 minutes they can serve this one, right? It is very simple. When the load is increasing, right, when the load is increasing, the capacity of the chefs are increased. The same way the load is increasing, the server capacity also would be increased. And when the load is decreased, now one customer came, for one customer 3 chefs will work.
No.
Very
No.
simple. See, actually, these concepts you can easily understand that. That's only the way is how you are trying to understand. Now, what is the objective of load testing is I give the load on the front end application and I see how the application will behave in terms of stability and in terms of speed and whether it can be scaled or not. Very simple, right? So now what I do when I got more number of customers, I increased my chef. When I have less number of load, I'll remove that particular means I ask that, hey boss, you go and work in another hotel or you go and relax. That is called scalability. Auto upgrading, auto downgrading. When the load is increased, I need more number of chefs, means more number of servers. When the load is decreased, I don't require this particular chefs. Remove the chefs. So based upon the load, it should increase and then it should decrease. But the speed means the speed of serving back to the customer and the stability means if I given 20 people, even 20 people are there, I can serve means I can serve what their people are requested back if I'm able to do it. So these three S I'm able to achieve from the performance testing, especially as part of load testing. Load testing is nothing but I given the load, okay, I just given the load and I have been monitoring that what is the speed of an application, what is the scalability of the application, and what is the stability of the application. Stability means without having any hanging, or without having any crashes, whether I'm able to work or not with a stipulated time. Okay, so this can be measured from the UI layer and from the backend layer also. How we can do the UI layer and the backend layer is, UI layer we will see the page load time, and from the APIs we will see the response times. For your more information, I'll try to share you some report and then show it to you. And this is a confidential report, but still for your understanding how we do the performance testing, I'll just slightly give you the information for this. Okay. So now, if you have been seen this one, now you see here, now this is for a small page. Now what I wanted to do is, I wanted to refer for a small login page, but now there is a login page. I wanted to see how much time it is taken for a login page to load. Now you see here, at the 0th second, nothing is loaded. At 7th second, nothing is loaded. At 22 second, some part of the portion is loaded. 22 seconds, so other part of this page also loaded. 23rd second, ouch. At 23rd second, it started to load. It started to load. And to complete this particular page, it taken 146 seconds, means 2 minutes, 15 seconds or 20 seconds it comes around, right? 2 minutes, 26 seconds. So you see here, by this, you can say that, hey boss, I'm able to see the complete page here. 23rd second it said loaded, right? Why? Means what are the other things to load? Boss, whatever you are trying to see with your naked eye, that is loaded. But there are a lot of things which it will load in the backend. So now when you open a particular page, the same I told you, right? So the Flipkart page, when you have been opened here, now you see here the dot is loading. You see, it is dangling. Means it was first the page loads. Means the UI will load, but it brings the backend code or backend things to load for it. So for loading that one, it taken 2 minutes 20 seconds. That's a worst performance. Now let me see that one in detail. Now if you see here, these are the videos saying that, boss, you see 0th second, nothing is loaded. You can see the playing, right? The seconds are running for us. These are the milliseconds. These are the seconds. Now 7th second, nothing happened. So we seen that at 20 seconds. Okay, I just 18 second, 19, 20. The DOM is DOM. Now you seen it, right? You seen it, right? First it loaded the welcome page on the right hand side. Then on the left hand side it loaded. So now it captured that particular things. Now it taken the complete time to load all the things. Now the same thing, it taken the film strip. So now in this particular film strip, you can see that 22nd second what it was happening, 23rd second what it was happening, and it was taking the visual completeness 85 percentage, 95 percentage, 99 percentage. And to load the complete page, it taken the last visual change, it taken 146 seconds, which is 2 minutes 26 seconds. And how much means how much things are there here? Means you can see what is largest CSS files. What means right, for creating of the front end HTML, means front end UI page, you should have the JavaScript, CSS, HTML, slowest responses. Don't worry, what I'm trying to show you is it gives us the complete metrics, and it will go you to the detailed level of the things, comparison between the Chrome browser and then Firefox browser, how much time it was taken for to load it in the Chrome browser, how much time it was taken to load for the Firefox browser, and how much it was taken for other browsers. So those all informations, the har file content, har file informations, everything would be taken care on it. And the page x-ray, So how many endpoints are there? What is a success and what is a failure? All level of informations you can get it on it. You see it. And overall, it gives you the complete summary information, which are good, which are bad. See now, these are the things, red color, which are need to be changed, green color, which are good, blue color, which are to be rectified. So now what you wanted to see or what you need to understand from this one is, see, when we given a particular load onto the application and how the application is performing. So now you are saying that, hey boss, saying that front end and the API. Now whatever the reports which I have been shown you, that is from the front end, right? You are seeing all the things from the front end, your video, everything from the front end. If I wanted to see from the back end, so there are certain other tools are there. So now whatever I shown you, that is from the sitespeed.io, and this is from the Gatling. Now, how many end users are there? See, now if you see here, at this point of time, orange color, which is the users, 10 users, 725, 36. Every second you seen it, right? 36, 37, 38. For every second, I have been given 10 users. And here I have been dipped the users for one user, from 10 users to one user. And what the request we have it, response we got it. Every metrics would be captured over here. Now, these are the three backend things. 10 users I have been given. All 10 users are passed. Nothing is failed. Zero fail percentage. And every request, this will be there. I don't want to explain these metrics now. It might confuse you. That's the reason I'm not showing it. Now, here you can see it. So 10 requests came within 800 milliseconds. 10 requests came beyond, 20 requests came beyond 1000 milliseconds. Now, what is the job of the responsibility of the developer is, they will fine tune, hey, why these requests are getting more than 1000. They will fine tune here, and they will fine tune here, hey, these are the problems I have been seen, why it was taking this much of time to load for this one. They will try to fix it up, and once they fix that one, once again we will rerun this one, and then we will see it. So this is how the performance testing would be carried out, and then we will be fixing the things. So now, as part of load testing, the basic objective, what we will try to do is, we give that particular load on the application and then measure these three particular factors. And how we do is, we do have different tools for this one, which is sitespeed.io, Gatling, and Gatling means we can do it from the front, and then we can do it from the back end. So different ways we will be trying to do that one, and then get that particular metrics. Now the outcome for this one, which we'll be getting, is these particular reports saying that, hey, these are the issues, and go and fix these particular issues. So these issues are related to the speed issues, and then stability issues, or most probably the speed, and then scalability. So scalability, I told you, right, it should increase and then it should decrease. So this is when it is increasing and decreasing, then this particular concept is called as auto scaling. Auto scaling. Auto scaling means automatically it scales. It scales to up, it scales to down. So that is what auto scaling. When load increased, this auto scaling should work. When load decreased, the auto scaling should be decreased for it. So that is how the load test would be performed. So once again, I'm saying that if someone asks you what is the definition means the load test means, load testing is one of the category of the performance testing, right? One of the category of performance testing. In load testing, we give the load on the application either from the front end or from the back end, and measure the three factors, whether it is stable, whether it have maintaining the speed and scaling or stability. So these three factors, and we will be rectifying the issues if there is any particular these things are there. And these all things are also not required. You can say that, hey, we will give load on the application to check the stability, scalability, and the speed of the application. That's it. You can define in your own words, but for you, I wanted to give you the holistic picture so that you will clearly understand the concept. So that's where I have been given what you meant by load testing. Any questions here?
Sir, I have one, sir. May I?
Please go ahead.
Sir, load given from the front end is understood, sir, because if the number of users increase, then the load increases in the front end. But how to know that the load is increasing from the back end, sir?
See, that is directly proportional. Example, I told you, right? 1,000 members came here and 1,000 members logged in here. The load is transmitting into the front end. That you understood? 1,000 people
Yes.
came. They given login on the UI. Now from UI, it takes this load of 1,000 users, right? It need to go to the server with all these credentials, and it should validate and come back. For validating this one, these are the APIs of the backend, right? You requested, you got the response back. Now 1,000 requests has been made on this particular APIs, right?
Yes, sir.
Then only it will go to the server and then get it back. See, UI layer is just, it is to communicate with the user, but it is attached with the backend layer, right? Now, when you given 1,000 users on the front end, that means the 1,000 users are on the top of the backend also, right? It is
Yes,
very
sir.
simple.
So it means unless,
Now,
yes, sir, sir. It is unless the load is increased from the front end, the back end load is not increased, right, sir?
yes, it true and false also. Sometimes directly we can give the load on the backend. I don't even come to this front end because I know that backend code, on code itself directly I can give the load.
Oh, okay.
Okay, sometimes I can do that one also. Example, I'll give you the example so that you can easily understand. I got 100 customers in a hotel. I have 100 customers. These servers are there. The barriers, So sorry, barriers or servers. So now this server will take the order, and then this load will by default fall on server, means on chef. This is the way we can get a load. And I have a party order, means I need to serve for a function. Directly the load will be on the chef, right? There is no load from the front end, so from the servers. I have the load from the customers directly by giving a party order. Hey, there is a function for 1,000 people you need to cook. These chefs would be too much busy, right? Either the load can come from here, or directly the load come from here also to the back end. However, don't get too much of confused. So you can think it from the front end, you are getting the load. That is also fine. But to give you the right answer, I said that directly we can give the load on the code, or you can get the load from the front end UI also. It's a parts and parts.
Okay, sir. Okay, thanks.
Any other questions?
Yeah, sir, I have a question, sir. Sir, let me say the load testing, does it related with database as well?
No.
No.
Load testing
Okay,
is different. Database testing is different. See, it is very simple. See, now
okay,
I'm testing interior. Yeah.
Yeah, if for some reason, if I had to get data from, for every transaction, let me say I have to go and get data from the database, then it will be hitting database multiple times, right? There it is also kind of load, right? This database server is getting by many times. So
see, now what you're trying to do, there is a database server, and then I requested for data. Now every time this endpoint will go, it bring me. So now this particular end will go and it fetch me 10 records. Next time, once again, it will go, it fetch me 10 records. Next time it will go, it fetch me 10 records. See, now you need to understand, this is a separate layer. This is a separate layer. On the layer, you're performing with this particular endpoint. Now, for this particular backend code, you can test the performance. But this is a different one. So now for the DB also, performance tuning, you can do it. For DB also, we can do the performance tuning. So now what is a performance tuning and the DB is, imagine that there are, see now in Amazon, I have some 1 crore products are there. Out of 1 crore product, when I searched for one iPhone 13, so now when I search for iPhone 13, out of 1 crore products, it need to search and then it should give it to me as quickly as possible. First time it was taking like 30 seconds to search and give it to me. Now what is my next target would be is how best I can search it within 20 seconds. Next target is how best I can search it in 10 seconds. And how best I can search within 2 minutes, 2 seconds. and the last target is how fast within milliseconds I can bring it back. So this is called performance tuning of your DB. Means for a particular DB, there is a huge amount of data. I'm searching it and getting that particular data from the search. How fast is matter. Example, now I'm just trying to hear. You see here, this results within 5 milliseconds. This has been searched out of, I don't know how many, it is 8 crores or 84 crores. From this particular records, it searched and it given me this particular results. You just see the velocity or the speed of this search. So previously, it taken when I think it's 1996 when the Google was started. I don't remember the exact year. It taken 4 minutes times to search for a particular thing. Where is 4 minutes? Now where is 0.5 millisecond?
Yeah.
So that's the speed. So they use the immense algorithms to get this particular data. So in DB, that is a completely another entity where you wanted to search fast and then give it back. For that one, we use the different algorithms. So there we will be using the performance tuning and then we'll get it. That is altogether a different story. So that is for DB entity. So you mean to say that, hey, can I do the performance testing on from the DB point of view? The answer is yes. Definitely we can do. That is called performance tuning at a DB level. But basically the performance testing where we will be doing is at these 3 layers we'll be trying to do it. So that this layer, the outcome of this particular things might be related to this particular layer also. So I'm able to get the fetch the data as quickly as possible. It was taking a lot of time. Then I can go and search for the DB also. Okay, fine. Any other questions? Any other questions? The next one is stress testing. We have been discussed the load testing, right? Now we will be going to discuss the stress. What do you mean by stress? The name itself, it was saying that I'm stressing out myself. So means I'm keeping some stress, means overloading things, overloading some things on me so that it will cause me the overstress, right? Now, what is my capacity? If I'm going beyond my capacity, then that is overloading, which it leads to me to stress. Why we get the stress? What is our boundary? Beyond our boundary, when we are trying to try it out, we will be easily getting stressed out. We used to work for 8 hours per day. We have been habituated. Then when you started to work for 10 hours a day, 12 hours a day, 14 hours a day, slightly you stretched out. So that when you stretched, stressed already. So now if an application have capacity to load the 1,000 users, then you have been given 1,500 users on this. It was stressed. Now, what is the basic objective of this particular stress testing? Stress testing objective, it have 2 objectives. One objective is to know the break-even point. I give you an example. When I was learning before 15 years, I remember this one like this. There is a rubber band, right? So when you stretch the rubber band, it will stretch for the maximum extent. At one point, it will break. Means you know that, hey, this is a maximum time, and here it will break and it will break. So that is what the stress testing we will be trying to know. What would be the maximum limit of users where the application can get crashed? To know that particular boundary value, we will do the stress testing. See, always you remember that performance testing is to destroy your application. Security testing is to destroy your application internally. what is your limits? We wanted to, we need to understand. We wanted to know it, right? So that is what the performance testing will give back to us. Always you need to remember that stress testing will gives us the breaking point of the application. Hey, this is a, see now I have the capacity to serve 1,000 users, but I'll give 1,500 users so that it will breaks me. Is it a 1,500 or is it a 1,400? Is it a 1,200? So that every point we will give it to them, and then we see, hey, where or how it is trying to perform. So that is what stress, first objective. And second objective of the stress testing, when it is broken, how the system is recovering back, self resilience, self healing, right? What do you mean by self healing or self resilience? You're running on you when you go for a jogging, okay? So you're running and suddenly you fell down, so you injured. So then what, I mean, you have some scratch on your knees. Then you go back and then it's okay, it's a small injury, so that there is nothing bigger things to I need to take. It recovers back within 2 3 days, because our body have our self-healing capability. Our white blood cells will fight against this. Hey, and then there would be I mean, it will fight as quickly as possible, and it will try to create some layer of skin, and then within few days it will be recovered back. So now we have that self recovery system. Human body have that self recovery. The same way, now when you, when the application is getting crashed, is the application have the capability to retain back, self heal back? So this is called resilience testing also. But resilience testing will be depend upon this stress testing. Resilience means, if I failed, how I'm coming back. I'll give you a real time example so that you can easily understand. Okay, I give this simple example. Now you are making a payment. You are making a payment. You entered your credit card and all the details. You click the pay. Transaction under progress. Suddenly current off, or suddenly internet gone lost. What we will do? We don't know whether the payment is done, whether the payment is not done, and immediately you got the message saying that successfully 10,000 rupees is deducted from your account. Bank will send the message, order not placed. So how you will be feeling?
Stressed.
So
Stress.
if at all, if the application says that, hey boss, don't get worried, your payment is safe, secured. If the order pays successfully, the order will be delivered for you. If not, this money would be refunded back within 3 working days. If you got this message, will you feel comfortable, or only blank screen it is coming there, you will feel comfortable?
By getting message, we are comfortable.
See, that is what the application recovery or self-healing, it will try to do it. It shows that particular message saying that, don't worry, your payment will be processed back within 3 days if on the unsuccessful transaction, and it will go to the home page as soon as you get it. So that self recovery is happening or not, we will get to know it because of over number of people. See, even yesterday, it's Amazon sale, right? People will not realize, we will not do. But when it was going to end at 11:59, so at 11:30 we will start race. Hey, within 29 minutes I need to place the order. Most of the orders placed in the last minute. See, when you try to place that particular last minute order, even though the money successfully placed, and then it will say that order pending, and they will say the error message, hey boss, don't worry, the payment would be processed back if the order is cancelled. So that we will be comfortable. See, either you give me my order or my money back without having any issues. That is what it will try to say for us. So stress testing objective will be two things. One, it will let us know that what is a break-even point we will be getting. It means at what point the application will get break. Second pointer is uh, if the application breaks, how it would be recovered back to the normal state. So then that is called as the objective of this stress testing. But if you're trying to test this particular recovery back, then this is called as a resilience testing. Resilience is nothing but coming back to normal. How it is coming back to the normal with the appropriate messages, with the appropriate information. Is it recovering back to normal state or not? Checking that validation is called resilience testing. But how that resilience testing can be achieved or done means with the help of stress testing we'll be trying to do. So stress testing is from the performance point of view, resilience testing is from the functional point of view. And for resilience testing, we do have multiple tools in the market. So this is a new category of testing. Previously, we don't used to do this resilience. Nowadays, all the applications come with the self-healing capabilities. So that's the reason the resilience testing will be performed. Example, this testing is introduced by Netflix. They introduced a tool called Chaos Gorilla. Chaos Gorilla is a tool name, so which it is introduced by the Netflix to test this particular resilience testing. Okay, so by this we have been known that what do you meant by load test and what do you meant by stress test. So stress test is nothing but giving beyond the limits of beyond the limit of users to the application and see when the application can be broken and how it is recovering back. Then this is called stress testing. Clear? So the objective for this one is these two. And the outcome for this one is I'll know that hey, application will have 1500 users capacity and application is showing me all the error messages when it was recovering back. So these are the things which we will get as a outcome. Clear? Any questions on this? Any questions?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Next one is spike testing. The name itself, it was saying that spike. So now these are the spikes. The heartbeat will be there, right? These are the spikes. Which it mean by in a particular application, I give abrupt to users and down, abrupt users down, up and 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 down. Why? I told you, right? My basic tendency to break the application. I wanted to check the stability of the application. If I'm giving this particular users at one shot, 1000 users, 100 users, 10 users, 2000 users, 500 users, 10 users, 5000 users, 5 users, 10 users, 15 users. If I'm giving like this one, the application should be stable. The basic objective for this one is giving abrupt spikes in the load. I'll give the abrupt spikes of load and see the stability of the application is stable or not. The application would be stable or not. There is some movie, some guy will come and then give the electrical shock and then he will have the heartbeat, higher heartbeat. And once again, he'll give the higher beat, it will go and come back. That means we wanted to check the stability of this particular application and see how these things goes on. So in this one, there are two different patterns. Pattern number one, irregular and regular patterns. See, now the irregular patterns. If you see this irregular patterns, see now this is irregular pattern. This is irregular pattern, right? Now this is when you given a load to increase, then this is called as ramp up. Now when you decreasing that load, then this is called as a ramp down. Means you're increasing the load, you're decreasing the load. This is called ramping up the load, ramping down the load. That's it. So now when you ramp up the load and ramp down the load, how would be your performance of an application? How would be your stability of an application? That is what it tries to give from this particular spike testing. And it can be done in another, this is a irregular pattern, right? How would be the regular pattern is? Now, I'll give you an example for Tatkal tickets. 11 o'clock, I'll open my reservation. At 10:56, I have 10,000 users. And 11:57, I have 20,000 users. And 11:58, another 10,000 users. 11:59 and 11 o'clock. Okay, I have all the users, like, okay, 3 lakh users are there. You know, right? Uh, uh, per second, we'll have 3 lakh hits for Tatkal ticket. And after that, 11:04, because within 4 minutes, all book the ticket. 11:04, now they will decrease the load. 11:05, 11:06, 11:07, 11:10. So all the load would be decreased to the normal. If you see here, step as a steps, it was increasing. The time interval of 1 minute, the load is getting increased. Means it is increasing based upon the time limit, and once after that one, it will be decreasing. So this is a regular pattern of ramping up, ramp up, and then this is what, see, now this is what the ramping up of the load, and this is what the ramping down of the load. So now here it is ramping down. The load is getting decreased regularly within every minute. And this is regularly we are increasing the thing for every minute. Just give me 1 second, guys. Okay. So now this is the ramping up, and then this is the ramping down. Now you understood. So this is where we give this load and check whether the application is stable or not. So this is called spike testing. All the tools will be there. I told you, right? Gatling, we have JMeter, Load Runner, Wind Runner, K6, Locust. There are different set of tools which it can try to help us to give this irregular spikes or regular ramping up. So these all things can be generated by tool. How to generate this load? Hey, I don't have 10,000 users. How I can get it? We give you VUs. VUs is nothing but virtual users. With the help of virtual users, we will test it. Means the users will be not there, but we can generate it. Virtually, we will generate it. Imagination users. So those things are the specialty of those tools. Okay, so this is called spike testing. Any questions from this spike? So tell me. Okay, the basic objective of this one is to know the stability of the application, whether with this particular abrupt spikes, how the application will perform. So that will gives you the information. So that is called spike testing. The next one is endurance testing. Endurance testing is also called as longevity testing. Endurance means what is your maximum capacity you can withstand, for how long you can withstand. Example, we'll have some competition. I think everyone will be watching the Big Boss shows. So there you will be seeing this endurance. What this endurance means, they will be asking you to wait for 100 kilos. Just you wait and keep uplifting for how much time you can uplift. 3 people will be there standing and carrying all these particular weights for that much of time. What it will try to show for you, or what it will mean for you, is how much time you can withstand with that particular load. That will gives you the endurance. Means, for an example, I have 1,000 users and I keep 1,000 users, and with this particular 1,000 user load, how I'll withstand, how is my stability, and how is my performance. Means the stability of the application and the speed of the application. These two factors would be the part of endurance testing. Endurance testing can be called as 2 ways, which is longevity testing. And as part of this one, we'll do the soak testing also. What do you mean by soaking? What do you mean by soaking? Soaking.
Downing.
Soaking. SOAKING. Very simple. So now,
Applying load for some period of time.
before you are going to wash your clothes, what you will try to do? You'll keep into water and with a detergent for some time. You'll soak the cloths for some time. Why? If you soak your clothes, the dirt which is there, so that it will be easily removed when you try to wash it, right? So that is called soaking. So soaking of your clothes means you will soak your clothes so that the dirt will be removed as quickly as possible. That is called soaking. The same way, as part of your performance testing, as part of your endurance testing, you soak your application for certain duration of time. Means, for an example, you will be soaking them for 24 hours, 48 hours, 72 hours. It all depends upon your application. With the load, with 1,000 users, you will keep your application consistently. You have 1,000 users and you will soak your application for 48 hours, 24 hours. Everything you'll be monitoring it. Means you will give 1,000 users on your application and you will be seeing how your application is performing, whether it can hold this particular 1,000 users for 48 hours or 28 hours, 72 hours. Now imagine that the Amazon sale happened for Saturday and Sunday. It is 48 hours sale. So 48 hours of sale, at least 10,000 users throughout the globe. At any given second, you'll be having it, right? How the application is withstanding, they need to test this one, right? Or else what it will happen, application would be, means application will go down or it crash, it hangs, not the server will be not reachable. I told you, right? More number of users increased. I told you, right? In a hotel, if I have more number of orders come, chef gone, he can't supply for everyone, right? One guy is asking for idli, one guy is asking for puri, another guy is asking for dosa. All things would be messed up. When you search for something, it gives me something else. So the application will get crashed. It will not behave accordingly to me. So that I need to check this endurance testing for bigger application. Usually we have done it for decathlon. So the endurance, the longevity, how far this will be sustainable, how far it will be working on. So that is called endurance testing. Any questions? Endurance is nothing but longevity. How long, or how, when for 48 hours or 50 hours, how this particular application will behave with this particular load. So that is what we will be trying to do it, which is soaking. We will try to do on it. So any questions on this, on endurance?
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
In endurance testing, soak testing is also combined or separate, sir?
Soak testing is part of endurance testing.
For a specific time given, in that time only?
What
Yeah.
we will do is, we will give 1,000 users and we will give a time for 1 hour or 10 hours, 24 hours, 50 hours, anything. We will give the time and we give the load. That much of time you will be having this much of load on that particular application. See, now what you're trying to do is you're soaking your application for that much of time with that much of load. Even in soaking also you do the same thing, right? You take your cloths, you soak for 1 hour with detergent. The same way, you're soaking your application for 1 hour with 1,000 users. That is what the concept is, the endurance and longevity. The type we performed is soak. So these are different synonyms and names. Performs the actions. You don't get into the details of that one, slightly you'll be confused. See, whatever it is you really means the information we required, so I'm just giving it. See, there are lots and lots of things are there. If you see here, if you go into the details, So how we do these all things, we have the video recordings and doing it. But this is specifically for the performance testing, which who performs or how we performs. But why I'm not telling you all these things is it might confuse you at this point of time. See, the basic concept you should understand. Hey, what is load testing? What is test testing? What is endurance testing? If you know what is this, that is enough for you now. To the detail level of implementations and these things may not be required now for you, because performance testing we will be doing by with a performance expertise. Now you have the testing pyramid, right? Every layer will have every testers. One person doing all these things is very rare, but if you are doing, then you are the hotcake in the market. But it is highly important. It is not highly impossible. It takes a lot of efforts. See, for 15 17 years we are working on it, and then now we are able to work in the different layers. It experience also matters a lot. So now how this ramping up, ramping down, and now you till now didn't enter into the security testing. Once you go there, you will understand. However, to answer your question, so these are the different terminologies used in this concept. Under the endurance, you will be having soak or longevity. We'll call this one. With the what is the objective for this one is we will keep an application soaking for this much of time with this much of load. It's already 11 to. Okay, any other questions?